Hello, everybody. Welcome to the whole story off season episode number 3. We are here today with probably another not great off season show, but we are here to chat. Alex, I got exciting news for you, I think.
Let's hear it.
We're looking good on equipment, bro.
Oh, sounds good. Sounds good. I'm excited.
So I'm still using my old Razer mic, but I just purchased the second mic. So we got both our mics. We got the audio board, and then we really only have three more big purchases left to complete our big off season overhaul of equipment. So
I'm
yeah,
excited.
yeah. It should be the worst but most legit show on Formula One. So. That'll be us. Don't burn yourself. Man,
Maybe
off
I
season,
should this.
off season. Me and Alex were just talking. We do feel like we have. I mean, I got some notes, and I think Alex and I's notes they overlap a little bit. And man, should we just get at it? Everyone's favorite Drive to Survive comedian will no longer be on the grid in 2024. Um, Gunther from Haas F1 has been let go by Gene Haas. Man, it was buzzing on social media. It was everywhere.
Oh yeah, it was insane. It was like I have mixed feelings about it. The guy's entertaining, but he hasn't produced any results, so I understand where Gene Haas is coming from. But Gene
Yeah.
Haas also hasn't done him any favors at all either. Like Haas needs more money, more backing, and a lot more help than just switching up a team management there.
Yeah, well, it's
But
funny you
man,
say
that was
that though,
surprising.
because Gene doesn't think that they should be as far off as they are with their relationship with Ferrari, and I think he thinks that like the money is not so much of an issue. Um, but
I
I'm
mean,
with
to
you.
be fair, it definitely is. But it's not. I think like I don't know how much Gene knows about the sport. I don't know if he's obviously not as involved as somebody like Stroll, the Aston
Yeah,
Martin owner.
yeah.
So he I don't I think he just bought into it as a businessman more than like a fan, which
Hmm.
is fine. You know, like F1's capable of bringing in a crap ton of money. Um, but yeah, I don't think Gene is on the right track when it comes to that because this company definitely needs some money. They definitely need, and I don't think it's so much in the car itself, more as in research and development kind of stuff. I think that's where they're lacking. They don't have the facilities. They don't have anything really. They're not designing their own engine. They're obviously taking parts from Ferrari, all this stuff. They're pretty much just taking parts of everything. It's just they need their own ground to stand, foundation to stand on, and Haas just doesn't have that.
Yeah, and I'd be interested because I just read something about Mercedes, and they're trying to expand their building, which we'll talk about. And I guess they're trying to go from like 1,500 people to 1,900 people. I'm gonna say it's safe to say that Haas does not have 1,500 people working for them, um, and I think things like that.
I'm surprised
Um,
Mercedes is able to pull that off, to be honest, because I know a lot of the budget cuts they cut off a lot of people.
did the Bills just score again? Oh my
I
God! Oh,
Yeah, they did.
guys, this is what I can't be. I shouldn't be doing a show during a Steelers playoff game, but I really didn't want to miss you guys for like the third week in a row. Oh my gosh, the Steelers are getting
Can you
trounced.
hear? Can you hear the person cheering in the background or no?
No, I just freaking watched the
My
camera. It just wouldn't stop moving. It just
my
kept
sis
going and going and going, and I'm like, please stop, or be a Steelers
my
player. Please
my
stop.
sis my sister-in-law is on the other side of the wall and she's a Bills fan.
Is she really a Bills fan?
Yeah, she's a Bills fan.
Bro, 21 nothing. This is great. This is great. All right, well, let's get back on
Hey,
track here.
28-3 happened, all right? Like, can't.
Yeah, I mean, one team had Tom Brady on their as their quarterback, but anyways, um, but you said something. I think there's no results that were produced, so something needs to change. Gene Haas
Yeah,
is the owner of the team, so he's obviously not going anywhere. He's like the owner of an NFL team. All right, so what he needs
yeah,
is a new
and
GM and
I know
coach.
stuff about bad owners. I'll tell you.
Yes.
Um,
Yep.
but yeah,
Um,
he definitely needs. I don't think Gunther Snyder was definitely the right fit for that team. I think he. I don't know what you really want. You kind of want something like Williams. Williams switched up the team boss,
mhm.
team principal was like 2 years back, and they seem to be going on an upward trajectory. They seem to have good relationships with their drivers and the whole facility as itself right now. And obviously, Williams doesn't have the financial backing that every other team does, so they're going to continue to struggle until something changes there. But I think that's a realistic output that Gene Haas has to look at. A team like Williams, like you're not going to be competing with the Ferraris. You know, you had that first was it I don't know what season they were in when they placed. Was it
I
fifth or fourth?
I know what you're talking about. Their first or I think it was their second or third season. They were like
They
somewhat legit. They were like
they were like competing with Renault
yeah,
at
they
the
were
end of the
running in
season
like the
at the
top
time.
8 consistently, or had they
Yeah, it
had a
was that
few.
thing. So
Yep.
like Gene Haas, I think sees that and he thinks like I we can get there again. And realistically, you could you it is possible. It's very difficult, and you need the time, you need the development, you need the right set of drivers in there. And not that those drivers are bad. I think K Mag should probably be replaced. I think Nigel's a solid driver. You want to keep in that lineup and get another young talent under him, kind of like what Ferrari used to do with youth and veteran kind of leadership kind of thing. They need a lot more help than just replacing Gunther Steiner. But I think removing Gunther isn't a bad step, but it's not helping either. It's just kind of a horizontal move.
Yeah, I mean it'll be interesting to see what results are like in the beginning of the season. I'm with you. Is that I think you need to keep Nico. You need to keep one. I like a lineup that has a veteran and a young guy. I think we seem to be on the same
Especially
page.
especially with a team like this who's at the bottom half of the constructors. I think this is what you want to kind of do. It helps develop the driver. It gets the driver some experience and stuff. And if they do end up leaving the team, like Charles Leclerc did when he left Alpha, George Russell going to Mercedes, kind of thing, it happens. But at the end of the day, like maybe you get a guy like Albon and Williams who is getting a second shot at Williams, and he's putting the team on his back right now,
Yep.
and he might unfortunately get stuck at Williams for the rest of his career. But if Williams does a whole rebound and ends up competing again, Albon's a capable driver to get them some podiums and some good finishes.
Yeah, and apparently James Vowles is putting 16-hour days in at the facilities over there at Williams. So I truly believe that Williams is going to see some decent results this year. I'd almost put a lot of money on it. Obviously not wins, but decent results coming from Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I forget who. I don't know even know if they have replaced him at Haas yet. I think they have. Um,
I haven't heard anything about that. I'm still hearing stuff about Gunther. I'm still seeing memes all over the place about Gunther.
Yeah. And this does come on the heels of he was supposed to be helping kind of direct or, give some behind the scenes info to on a show coming out. So maybe this just gives him more
Oh
time to
yeah,
maybe gives us more time to focus on that. Maybe he refocuses, tries to get back into a different position
I
here.
saw he was
But
applying for a position at like Ferrari somewhere, or was that just a Reddit rumor or something?
I haven't seen anything like that. It could be though. Um, there's nothing wrong with taking that move there. Um, but yeah, I mean, listen, we always have the Mazepin memes and the K Mag memes with him. So yeah, we're gonna miss him. My brother-in-law just got a shirt for Christmas with him on the front.
No, really.
Yeah, and he
That's
wore it. He
hilarious.
wore it at Christmas time. I was joking around with him. I said that thing needs to be shadow box now. That thing is like thing's like a national treasure now. That he got fired. So
Get it
uh,
framed.
yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, so that's different for Haas. Man, I
I'm
have a
gonna have to
bunch.
talk
Yeah.
to your teammate on Wednesday. Maybe he can have a discussion with him. Haas, Dakota
Oh,
Haas. Yeah.
um, yeah. So Ryan did text me. He was very upset about this move. Was very upset. Felt like K Max stands no chance now. Um, and
Your
man,
teammate
it just
Dakota, his last name is Haas too. You know that, right?
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
going right over that because nothing makes me happier than when Ryan texts me about Formula One. Just the fact that he cares enough and it somehow pops up on his timeline. It just makes me so freaking happy. Um, man, so I got a lot of notes here, but man, I don't know how I want to talk about this. Obviously, the let's say the big three teams right now in agreement: Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull. Just
Yep.
like most
Yeah.
popular, whatever. We won't
Mhm.
think too much of it. But by far the most information that I get that pops up in my feed on Facebook and on Instagram is Ferrari one, and then Mercedes and Red Bull are close second and third. Um,
For
and
like the
man,
most info like dropping for
yeah,
you.
Yeah,
Okay, I
yep.
think you meant like constructors. Like that's what people are guessing. I was like, that's
No, no, no,
crazy.
no, no. Just the most info coming out, and
Okay.
I just curious. I just that just really it just when I see it, I'm like, damn. Are they leaking information? Do they not have tight information? Do people just care that much more about those three teams? And Ferrari is by far what I see the most on my page for some reason. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it's just interesting. Like I don't really see no leaks about like Alpine's car this year or McLaren's car or anyone else's. I just man, I
So
see Ferrari doing this, Ferrari doing this, Ferrari doing this. I don't know. I'm
yeah.
just interested.
So I've seen. I think for me, it's Ferrari and Mercedes, and then Red Bull's like right behind them. I would
Yeah,
put like Ferrari and Mercedes, at least for information that I've seen.
yeah,
But Red Bull, from what I understood, was like they're not doing too many changes because it's kind of hard to add on to what they already feel like is almost a perfect car,
yeah,
which is fine. Which I think is complete BS. I think they're definitely making a lot more changes and they're leaking. Ferrari, I think you're getting the most information because a lot of, from what I'm understanding, from what I'm hearing from a lot of constructors and stuff, a lot of cars are pretty much just trying to copy Red Bull.
yeah,
Just a Red Bull philosophy, their aerodynamics, everything, their wing, everything. A lot of cars are just trying to, like McLaren, when they made their
yep,
comeback, it was because they adopted a lot of Red Bull concepts.
yeah.
Um, Aston Martin, same thing. Ferrari's the only team I know that isn't copying Red Bull like at all. Like they
Okay,
are just full diving in. See how Mercedes was full diving in with the full no side pods for a while. Ferrari's doing the exact same thing, but with whatever concept they're going with. They
yeah.
feel like they have a solid idea of how to make their car better and their concepts, and they're going to keep on going down that path. So I think that's why we're seeing a lot of Ferrari information. It's because it's going down an entirely different philosophy than what they know is to be successful with the Red Bull car.
Yeah, I agree, and especially like you're saying too. Their car they said was going to be like 98% brand new, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, that could be because they are doing the most. Yeah, I just find it interesting. Because for
And it's
some
also
reason
like
they were flooding my
Ferrari's most
feed.
yeah, it's also Ferrari's most popular team probably around the world too.
Yeah, probably overall branding. You're not wrong. I saw reports that they already have new updates. I forget how many points of downforce Ferrari thinks they found, but it's supposedly equal to 4/10 um, that they found. So
I've seen some crazy numbers from Mercedes, and I have to understand what simulation numbers are pulling because that simulator is dumb biased for some of these numbers I'm seeing.
yeah, well, I just read a Mercedes thing too that Total Wolf came out and said that the car on the sim feels like the first time the cars felt real in 2 years. But man, I don't know. It's all fake. I want to see some on
I
track action
I don't
already.
know. I never know what to think until not even testing because Mercedes was known for sandbagging their testing. So I'm not even until the first race hits and we see that first quali session.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna know
I
what to think
I
because
don't
I don't
know.
believe
Testing the
anything.
last couple of years has been pretty accurate.
It,
I'm
it,
not.
it has been, but like at least in the past, before this regulations, Mercedes
Yeah,
always looked slow during the testing, and then
yeah,
they would come down race day and they would just slamming down everybody's throats.
yes. You're 1,000% right. But the last couple of years, it seems like
It has
um
been, yeah.
because Aston Martin was like impressing in testing, and then they were legitimately probably the second fastest car for the beginning of the year there.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, testing definitely coming soon. Let's just keep going on and on about Mercedes because that's what I got in my notes. Um, they're expanding their facility in Brackley, which was getting some pushback because they want to expand it so much, and from the locals, it was getting pushback. But that's coming through, so that's exciting. I mean, I can't believe they already have 1,500 people on staff. Like, dude, that must be a huge, huge operation. I've seen some of the pictures, like when they do their constructor championship photos and stuff.
It's a
Um,
lot.
it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Mercedes, new car. The cockpit is further back, um, along with a bunch of other stuff. But they said the cockpit further back. Lewis Hamilton was requesting that. They think that you can feel a little bit more of the rear end of the car. Obviously, the further you are back, so it makes sense. And I can't believe I'm going to bring this up, but as a Lewis Hamilton diehard fan here, I think that he already struggles to kind of judge this car sometimes on where it is based on some of the accidents that he's been in. I wonder what him even being further back is going to do. I have no doubt that he'll feel the car underneath him better, but some of the accidents that he's been into,
Wait,
being
just like, what do you? I'm trying to understand like why you think this is gonna change that much on his what he's accidents wise.
because it puts you further back in the car. Like these
So you
guys
feel the
can't
more, but you're
see.
gonna.
Yeah, go
Okay, I
ahead.
mean, yeah.
No, I'm
Okay,
talking.
I guess because I'm saying because I'm trying to think of like Lewis Hamilton accidents and stuff, and I get what you're saying.
I'm
He
talking.
like
No,
doesn't
I'm
see
talking
like
like Alonso at Spa when he turned right across him.
yeah,
Him at Monza when he turned right across. When he turned right across. Oh my God, McLaren. Piastri.
Piastri.
Some incidents that he's been in are kind of like,
It's a front wheel, so yeah, I can see what you're saying.
and so now he's even further back, which I think he'll be fast, but it's kind of,
What's
I'm interested. That's all I'm gonna say.
I guess we could say it's going to be interesting. I think like I don't think it's going to hurt him like at all.
Mm.
I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like him
Okay.
just like, getting more of a feel for the rear end of the car is going to be a big thing because obviously they were losing the rear a lot. So
Yeah.
Lewis might have been trying to overcompensate by like taking some of these moves. Although I don't think he was trying to overcompensate because of the rear end more. I think he was trying to overcompensate because the car was slow. So he felt like he had to make some of these moves that he probably wouldn't have if he felt like he could overtake.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I can see what you're saying. I find it really hard to like obviously you played the F1 game a little bit. I'm assuming, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really hard when you get that view with the halo and the bar right down the middle.
Yeah.
Like that's gotta like that in general. I don't think I'd be able to see at all in a cockpit of a car. I feel so
Um,
bad for Yuki.
you because he's short. That's so messed up. um,
I'm like 2 inches taller than Yuki. It'd be a struggle for me.
so there's the F1 game on Xbox, and then there's iRacing, which the iRacing people think that they're above everyone. In the F1 game, most guys just play with this view that puts you
Yeah,
right
it's like
above
right
the
above the
cockpit.
halo. Yeah,
Or if you go driver's eye view, you can take the halo away. You can
but that's what I'm
minimize it
saying.
to
So like you
nothing.
can do that, and that makes sense. But when you're
Yeah.
sitting in the actual cockpit, like, and
Yeah.
dude, those tires are higher than the car most of the time. I don't
Yeah.
understand how you guys see. Period. And in the rain, dude, like yeah, you can't see like 2 feet in front of you.
The helmet cam I think is like the best that we got, but
And even then, like you're viewing it, you're like, how are these guys seeing?
yeah, I
Especially
mean
in the rain.
a lot of times when they enter the corners, they're looking so
They're
far
looking
left and
ahead.
right.
Yeah, they are.
But I get what you're saying, straight ahead. And I'm a big fan. I hate what rain races do, or they've been lately with the delays. But also, I can 1000% get how they can't see anything and it's dangerous. Like I
It's
get that.
extremely dangerous. What was it? Vettel's last year when I forget what race it was. It Spa? I forget what race it was. Where Lando Norris like had a scary crash,
Yeah, yeah,
and then I think it was I don't know. I don't think it was even a race. It might have been qualifying to be honest.
yeah.
But I
It
remember like
wasn't the
Vettel.
race.
Yeah, I remember Vettel coming on saying like this is dangerous. We shouldn't be doing this. Like I said this before, kind of thing. And
Yeah.
like it is.
And I saw a post that they're still working on the covers for the wheels.
Yeah,
Um,
they're still trying to fix the spray.
yeah, they still haven't perfected it yet, but they're trying, and I respect that.
I saw they're gonna bring back more tires again. They're not gonna. So what was it, 11 this year or something like that? 11 set of tires.
And they were trying to go down to
I,
7 or something.
yeah, but now they're going back up to like 13 or whatever it was.
Yeah, no one really seemed to like that. I'm just saying.
It makes.
I know.
I mean, it
I
makes
know it was for
sense.
the
Like,
environment, but
yeah,
um,
F1's just not good for the environment in general. If you want to start, if you really want to do something with the environment, fix the logistics
yeah.
first.
Well, good luck with that. Um, last thing for Mercedes, Wolf apparently is staying on until 2026 in his role. Um, so no change there, and no change to their drivers for another year or so. Um, I don't. Did you see that Red Bull failed their crash test? Don't look. Did they score again?
No, no, no. I have because I'm streaming it off something.
Yeah.
A pop up came up and it's in the top right corner, so you can definitely see it on your screen.
Barely. It only looks like a white box.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
some fake McAfee ad or something.
I thought maybe you had some
You know
local
that dude
ladies
like
in your area looking for you. Well,
you know that dude McAfee's like on the run from the law, or he's like some crazy like on some crazy wanted list.
who are you talking about?
McAfee, like you ever go onto the computer and it tells you McAfee, like
Oh, like the
this
virus
guy
guy?
The antivirus guy. Yeah, the guy who is the CEO of that company is like on the run.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a crazy story. I think he got involved with like some drug lords or something, and he like owed him a bunch of money. I forget the whole story, but it's crazy.
He wasn't raking in enough cash, doing all our virus stuff back in the day,
I guess not.
slowing down our computers.
It could have just been a money laundering op, McAfee, the entire thing.
Could be. Well, it's a good thing you're streaming from a legit site. So Zandvoort's getting some new track upgrades, which I really don't know how I feel about this because I don't love the track for racing wise. There's legit you're only passing down that front straightaway, and if not, you're following the rest of the lap. Um, but apparently, a little expansion to the pit area to get it lined up with the FIA regulations. All right, so I heard news, and then I heard that this news is not that big of a deal. Did you hear that Red Bull failed their crash test?
Yeah, and I also do understand why it's not a big deal.
Yeah. So at first I was like, "Oh man, everyone might have a chance," and then come to find out that them failing the test essentially it usually leads to the car being too light, and all that means is that they are going to add weight in appropriate places strategically to make their car faster. Usually, if a car passes, it doesn't necessarily mean it's too heavy, but if it fails, it usually means it's too light. So they're just going to be fast again. Right? You got the same stuff out of that?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. Like it was
Yeah.
that entire like that was just like a slow day in the news, and they just wanted to report something.
Yeah. Just like they wanted to report that day that Max was denied a Mercedes rental car.
I
You
didn't
read
see
that, right?
That's hilarious. No.
Yeah, he was denied. I forget the finer details, but there was some reasoning, of course. I don't think it was that dramatic, but yeah, he couldn't get a
Definitely
Mercedes
not at all. That's funny though.
rental car. All right, so let me pose a question at you. I read an article about this a little while back. I forget who said it. I think it was someone involved in Formula One. But they said that another American team maybe isn't as important as another American driver. I forget who it was, but they were already saying that the U.S. has a Formula One team already, being Haas. So it's not so necessarily important for the sport to have another United States team because we already have one. It's more maybe about getting some more drivers or a good a solid driver in there to replace what's there now. So I was just wondering thoughts. You think drivers are more important or a team is more important?
Drivers.
Drivers?
Yeah, just because like America's already getting overrepresented in F1.
Yeah.
Just because too many races. That's the last thing we need is another race coming to America. And so what Andretti is the other American team that would possible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely the drivers. We definitely need. I just don't think we have anybody competent enough right now. I don't know like what the Indy scene looks like personally. I don't know if you know anything about that. But I think it'd be nice to root for somebody outside of Logan Sargent because I think we're all rooting for him, and we all kind of like we all see like he's creating a lot of mistakes, and we're all hoping it's like rookie mistakes and stuff, but he's just not pulling through.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, they're fully backing him for this next season.
Yeah,
but I did read there's another guy coming through the ranks. He jumped from something to F2 this year. He's supposed to be pretty badass, and I think he's lined up with Mercedes. So I feel like if something goes wrong with Logan Sargent, Williams is kind of a feeder team a little bit for Mercedes. So. All right, but yeah, you kind of agree. Maybe the driver is more important than the team, and I think you have a few examples. I mean, I just think what Daniel Ricciardo does for the whole country of Australia. I think the way Lewis and I know George, but I would say Lando put on for Great Britain. I think is pretty big for the UK. So, all right, let's take a quick look, Alex. I'm just gonna read them off here real quick because. Something exciting that release dates are starting to come out here.
Yeah.
So not in order because this list is all over the place. But Red Bull is coming out February 15th. Mercedes is coming out Valentine's Day, February 14th. Ferrari's February 13th, so we have Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull back to back to back. Aston Martin is at the 12th before that. Alpine is February 7th, Williams February 5th, and then Sauber February 5th as well. So we'll have 2 on February 5th. Everything else is pretty spread out right now. Haas, AlphaTauri, and McLaren have not done their release dates yet. I think Mercedes and Aston Martin are releasing at Silverstone this year, so some cool stuff there. But put that in perspective, Alex. I mean, some of those I just said, we're a month away from away from Red Bull, which was the last one. So, I mean, we're a month away from seeing cars, and we're gonna get, we're gonna blink, and
seasons start coming up.
The season's gonna be here already. Yeah, we're about to get in. We have a few more weeks here before we run out of football and racing, and then it's just basketball. But, yo, how's the hand healing up? Tell the people what's going on.
It's good. I can. First 2 days with the nerve block was kind of scary.
Okay.
That was an experience.
What is it like? You didn't even know where it was? Like you were just like.
So it's like it just feels like it's like asleep the entire time, and they do it from my shoulder all the way down my arm, so my entire arm I couldn't feel it.
Yeah.
And then so the first night when I was sleeping, I woke myself up because I slapped myself in the face when I rolled over. Yeah. And I also woke up the next morning and I was sleeping on my arm because again I don't know it's there, and I didn't know I was sleeping on my arm for a while. And then I had the lovely experience of trying to make myself breakfast with one arm. It was a lot harder than I thought. I eventually gave up on trying to make eggs because I just couldn't get all the shells out of the way. And I tried to make cereal, and I spilled the cereal, and that was like a 45-minute cleanup.
Oh, man.
So I just gave up on breakfast for about 2 days.
I
was eating nothing but sandwiches.
I always tell a story when I was on crutches, because I think what you'll agree, like I was just eating out all the time because it was easier. You didn't have to make anything. Like the food was all right there, right?
Yeah.
And then one day I didn't have a lot of cash, so I went to heat up some pizza bagels or some pizza rolls, and then I tried to walk with my crutches, and it fell out of the plate because I tried to hold the plate and the crutch, and it fell onto the floor, and I was like, yo, this is a low. Like you don't think about that stuff, but eating and making food is so hard.
No, it's complicated as heck. And then the other day we had a little snow. We had some snow, right?
Yeah.
And I ran to Target to try to find a shovel. Couldn't find a shovel. Eventually, my sister-in-law and my brother told me they had a shovel in the closet, so I ended up using that one. But I'm going to clean my car off, and I'm talking to a friend, and they're like, how are you going to clean it off with one hand? And I was like, well, I figured out, because last year I had foot surgery, right? So I was on crutches for a minute. I figured out how to mop on one foot.
Okay.
I think I can figure out how to shovel. And it was hard, though, because it was like a slushy snow, too. So I was trying to lift it up with one hand, and it was a pain in the ass. I was just hoping I could just push it off.
Yeah. So you're moving the fingers, obviously. When does the cast come off for wrist movement?
I'm hoping January 31st I go back for my appointment, and I'm hoping they get it removed and it's completely off. And I'm gonna ask for a rehab program to just take home because I am not trying to pay for physical therapy because it's too expensive.
Yeah, physical therapy's tough, man, because
it adds up, man.
I know, and a lot of times they're just giving you exercises, like you said, go once, maybe get your exercises. Yeah. I know they do some stretch stuff. But
the massage stuff, I think I like the most. The little and the heating and the ice and stuff that they have, that stuff is nice. And then, but once you get some workouts in and stuff, I think realistically, you can go 3 times, unless you have an ACL and MCL tears and stuff like that, and it's serious crazy movement.
Yeah.
Then maybe keep on going because you don't want to get to the point where you just can't bend your knee.
Yeah.
And I think. I'm just gonna keep on forcing to move my wrist up and down, little minute things and stuff. And I'm gonna ask for a rehab program to just take home because last time when I got my foot injured, I had thought covering the surgery and everything because I paid for the surgery, some of it out of pocket, physical therapy was part of the program kind of thing that I paid for. Nope, not at all. And I didn't know that. And they don't. And you know what the worst thing is? When I was younger, I swear, when I first started paying for my own doctor visits and stuff, they would tell me my copay at the front security, secretary would tell me immediately.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting charged a copay or anything.
And then you got a monster bill.
Yeah, all of a sudden after like 10 visits, I get a bill and it's like $1,700. I'm like, dude, I just paid $3,000 for the surgery. Now you want me to pay 1,700? I don't have it.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it's
I was like,
crazy.
and it came out of nowhere, and I was like, bro, what the heck? And then like one of my last, then I went for my last because I already scheduled one physical therapy thing or whatever, and they're like, all right, we want you back for like 10 more visits because the doctor kind of cleared you to go back to work and everything, but like, your movements, it's getting there, but it's not exactly where we want it. I'm like, that's great. You know what? I'll give you a call to set my next appointment. Never called because I can't. $65 a session is ridiculous. And I was
It
there for
is.
like a half hour, an hour tops.
Now listen, bro, you should be a physical therapist. Um, it's no joke. Steelers just scored. That's good. We're only down 14 now.
It's not impossible. It's going into halftime. You just
Yeah,
need a. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm rooting for the Bills,
yeah.
but
Of course you are. That's the type of good person you are. Why would you root for your friend's team? Thanks, buddy.
I
Appreciate it.
like Buffalo.
Only
AFC. My favorite team in the AFC is the Bills. My favorite team in the NFC is obviously my favorite
I've
team in
only
football is the
I've
Panthers.
only known you for
But
like 14 years. Why would you root for my team? Thanks a lot. Oh my god.
NFC. Come on, who are you rooting for the NFC? You
I
gotta
don't
be rooting for
care.
someone.
I'm
Really? You
rooting
not
for
like
this
that?
team right here. I don't
So
care
so
about the
when they're
rest.
out, you're just gonna stop watching football?
No, I will. I just don't root.
Really?
If the like I'll root for the Eagles tonight. Like go Ryan. I don't care. Like whatever.
I want the Lions to tear everybody apart.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, Lions are a cool story. I think Niners need to win here one eventually. I just like
That's
don't
another
care.
one.
But
That's
like I'm
another
gonna
one too.
root.
Like C-Mac. I want C-Mac to get a ring.
Yeah. But no, I root for I'm rooting for my friends' teams because that's like what a good
What a
friend does.
good
But
call.
anyways, um, yeah, see, Ryan knows.
Yo, damn, bro.
Um, all right, let me
Tampa
ask you.
about to drop 45 tonight at least.
You say Baker? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Baker's about to drop
Because
45 on.
he had the Zin in his pocket in practice.
That was crazy to me. I thought it was hilarious.
All right, let me ask you one more racing question before we go here. Which car reveal from the livery scheme are you most excited to see?
From livery?
Yeah, just livery perspective.
Okay. Who's Alpha called now? Because I think they kill the liveries usually. Off the
Alpha?
rip. Yeah, what are they called now? Alpha
The
Romeo.
Racing Bulls?
No, Romero. Alpha Romeo.
Oh, Sauber?
Sauber. Damn, they're gonna suck.
No, they got an ugly green car coming. You're not gonna like. If you like it, I think you'll
yeah,
be
they're gonna
shocked
suck. I think
because they got that kick sponsor.
Yeah, it's gonna be ugly. I can't believe Kick is that big that they have a sponsor on an F1 car. That's crazy.
Bro,
I mean,
it's
I
freaking
guess
gambling,
it makes sense.
bro.
It's a
What do you
gambling thing.
mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. That 100%
All I
makes
see
sense.
is highlights of
It's
kids
just
gambling on
I
my
know.
Instagram.
That's so sad. Sad world we live in.
It is a sad world we live in.
So
I
we
gotta get
have
you a
Red
chair
Bull's
for
gonna-
down here. I just thought about that. More purchases. Anyways, who are
We
you
can get
most
a
excited
fold-out
for?
chair. Are we gonna get like a computer chair or like you can just get a don't get a computer chair. Those things are expensive, man. Get like a fold-out chair. We'll dress it up
Maybe-
or something.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We're
Like,
spending a
we're
lot.
not gonna go to computer chair. It's way too expensive, John.
We're spending a lot. No, you can get cheap computer chairs, Alex.
Alright.
They're not all Herman Miller $700 chairs. So we can get a cheap chair. But anyways,
Alright,
who are
so
you
we
most
have-
excited for?
So Ferrari and McLaren, I guess. 'Cause
Really?
I think
Ferrari?
Ferrari's
Oh, red.
Yeah, the
Red.
red. If they can get the red, they're gonna bring the red white back. I'm hoping for that Marlboro sponsor. What do we got to do?
What do we gotta do?
We love cancer.
Would you say your other one was legit? Who was it?
McLaren.
Okay, yeah.
Because like
McLaren.
Aston Martin's gonna come back with that green again. The mint green is clean, or the forest green, whatever color that is.
Mercedes is kind of exciting. I'm not gonna lie. Lately, because you never know. Like when they were
They're gonna come
dropping
back with the
silver.
black. I think that black is really clean. I think you gotta stick to it. The black.
I think you gotta go back to silver, but that's just me.
You think so?
Yeah.
I like the black. I don't know. It gives it like a Batman vibe to it.
There's still some F1. What is it? There's still some F1 merch out here in Vegas. What is Ryan doing in Vegas, anyways?
A dodgeball tournament out there for
Ah.
LG. It's like an LGBTQ plus tournament kind of thing.
What is he coming back in 2 days to start our league too? Oh boy.
You gotta talk. You gotta talk to your captain. I'd assume so.
If my man's gonna be tired out here. First of all, he's in Vegas watching the show. Mad respect. What time is it out there? 3? It's 3:09 out there right now. It's
Are
either
they
3 or 4.
Yeah, I don't know how far
I don't
behind
know.
they are.
I don't know what time
I think
zone they're in, but shouts out Ryan for watching our show while this is going on. Ryan, pick up yourself some merch. Maybe get some Lewis Hamilton stuff because I know you're a big fan. Uh, Yo, you like how I said that too? I'd root for the Eagles, but anything Lewis Hamilton related, he freaking craps on them. Wow,
Damn, bro.
there ain't
Yo,
no friends out here. There ain't no friends out here.
Your captain
Oh my
hates you, bro.
gosh. Oh man. All right, Alex. I'm thinking I'm gonna start busting out some of our new equipment here maybe next week for audio.
Yo,
Um,
start filming the setup. You should do that. Like you building it up and setting
bro,
it up and get going.
there ain't no building anything. It's all a disaster. But
One
yeah,
step at a time, Jonathan. If you
one
need help,
step
hit
at
me
a
up.
time. I like it, Alex. I like it. Lewis Hamilton merch is being handed out for free. He's the worst.
Rio 9 and fly back. Okay, so they're 3 hours behind. He flies back
Yeah.
tomorrow. So he'll be kind of
They're,
rested. I don't know if he,
Ryan said they're paying us to take the merch off their hands. Oh my gosh.
who do you
All
think would
right.
sell out? Who do you think? What kind of merch do you think is selling the most in America? It's obviously not Logan Sargent.
I I'm gonna be dead ass. I have no idea. I think Danny Rick is a fan favorite. I think
That's
like
true.
I think a couple of these dudes
I've seen a lot of
get the
Ferrari
ladies,
stuff.
get the ladies, you know, the Charles Leclercs and stuff. Get like
Yeah,
ladies buying
Leclerc.
their stuff. Um, yeah, I have no idea. Um,
Lando Norris has got to be up there too.
oh, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, I have no idea.
When Lewis retires, who would you start rooting for as a driver?
You know what? Yeah, it's funny you say this. I think about this quite often. Um, cause right now, like I'm like when LeBron, like I'm a LeBron fan, like wherever he's at fan. You know what I mean? That's how
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I am with Lewis Hamilton. Like I'm a Mercedes fan because of Lewis. I don't know if I just stay Mercedes. Um,
Preferably with the left.
uh, I don't know if I stay with Mercedes. I don't know. I don't know what I do. So,
Yeah,
um,
driver specifically, like driver on the grid right now. If Lewis retires, who do you think you would root for?
well, that's what I mean. Like if I just stay with Mercedes, I'll just root for whatever driver's in
Whatever
Mercedes
driver
car.
comes in. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why I'm a little undecided because I really want to root for Haas. Like being an American, I want to root for the American team, but like they have not given us much to root for. Um, I don't know. I was a big Jeff Gordon fan for a while, and
I was
then
too when I watched NASCAR.
yeah, and then when he
And then
retired,
after him,
it
I've
felt like
started
there was
rooting for Jimmy Johnson.
okay, yeah.
And then
But now
I
there's
don't know if he even still races.
no, he
I'm
doesn't. He
assuming he's
retired
gone.
like 2 or 3 years ago. But now like there's a dirt, like a guy who races on dirt a lot, who's also in NASCAR, Kyle Larson.
Okay.
So like we're a big fan. I'm a big fan of his.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm just kind of. It's funny you say that. I think about it kind of like often.
Because I
Because like
think I think I.
go
Sorry,
ahead.
go.
No,
No,
go.
go. No, you go.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying. I'm starting to like. I have a Mercedes hat. I have a Mercedes shirt. Like
Okay.
how bunkered in am I gonna get into like Mercedes stuff if I switch teams when Hamilton's out? But I might just stay Mercedes and just ride this wave.
I don't know. It's like, so I always claim to be a McLaren fan, but I'm also like I also root for like individual drivers kind of thing. It's kind
Mm-hmm.
I feel like F1's almost like how I kind of root for like college sports teams too. Because like
Okay.
for college basketball, I say I'm a UNC fan, but I like UConn obviously. As
Yeah.
long as I'm not rooting for Duke, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
like anybody but Duke, I'm okay with.
Yeah.
When it comes to F1 and stuff, I think personally a lot of the fan base is rooting for Lewis Hamilton. Is probably going to switch over to Lando. I think he's
Yeah.
just the most personable driver outside of like Danny Rick,
Yeah.
and he probably has talent enough to be, at least carrying a lot of the fan base. That Lewis Hamilton is obviously gonna. That a lot of F1 fans who do stick around strictly for Lewis Hamilton are obviously gonna like stick around for somebody else.
Yeah. And if I could piggyback real quick, like what I said about wanting to like Haas because I'm a United States guy, like the transition from Lewis to Lando being both, like a lot like
or Britain, yeah.
yeah. Like so, I think that transition for that fans, like you said, I'm like 100% with you.
Yeah, and then so I'm obviously a Lando fan, but I also like root for Ferrari a lot because like I like that driver lineup. Ferrari the whole history with F1 in general. It's just hard to like for me to honestly root against them. I want to see them succeed. It's just I couldn't. I don't think I'd ever fully buy into Ferrari because it's just like I can't deal with that constant heartache. I already deal with
Yeah,
enough heartache being a Mets fan, a Panthers fan, and
yeah,
a Longhorns fan because God knows we can't close the deal to get a national championship.
love it.
Um, and then so yeah, and then who else? I want to root for Haas, American
Yeah,
team. I want to root for an American driver, but Logan Sargent obviously is just like, he's
yeah,
fumbling. Let's see what happens. Hopefully he gets better within the next few years or
yeah.
next year.
Sounds like you're rooting for the whole grid at this point, Alex.
Yeah, at
Jeez,
this point, yeah, it's like pretty much
how much
everybody. It's
further are
like
you gonna go, bro?
but like, so I think personally, me, I'd probably just full on root for Lando Norris.
Mm,
But I think
okay.
it's just the easiest thing to me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. It's funny though because the way Fernando Alonso is still going, if like Hamilton decides to do it as well, like that may not be something I need to
I
think
don't know.
about
If
for.
I'm Lewis, I'm not gonna lie to you. I want that eighth championship, and then after that, I'm done because it's
Mm,
very clear the sport just hates him. At least most of it's very clear that like the FIA doesn't like him anymore. He's not the poster boy child. He does not get any rulings for him whatsoever.
mm,
Um, F1 fan base is very toxic. So like, and I just think like if I'm Lewis and I get that eighth championship, I'm retiring right after I'm done. It's just
yeah,
too exhausting to keep on doing that. Plus, he has other avenues. It's not like Alonso. He's strictly just a racer. Where Lewis, he's a pop icon. He's
yeah.
not a global icon. He does
Mm-hmm.
fashion. He's a team owner. He's part team owner of the Denver Broncos, and he has different avenues he'd like to explore.
Yeah,
Um, and it's just getting to that point where like I don't think Lewis. I think once Lewis retires, he's done. Maybe he could come back in like a team boss or like I don't know. Maybe he'll
I don't I don't
team up
think
with
he does.
Susan Wolf and start teaching academy drivers. I could see him doing something like that, like in building his own little thing to maybe get
That
more
I
like
can see. Yeah.
people of color involved into the sport too. I
Mm-hmm.
could see him coming back in that sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Lewis is done once he's done. I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he loves racing the way Alonso does strictly. I just think he has
Yeah.
different avenues he wants to like pursue.
I agree. Alonso already said he's like I don't he's what did he say? Alonso said something like about when I if I don't feel as fast, I'll be the first to leave. But he's like I think Alonso was like I still feel good, but he's like this 24 race schedule and what they got us doing. He's like
It's
that
ridiculous.
might
A lot of drivers are.
wear
That's
me out.
another thing. We didn't bring that up too. The regulation changes and stuff, and like this crazy schedule now. Like a lot of F1 drivers don't want to do it. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Traveling wears you. It
I,
wears you
I
out,
just
man. And like,
I just don't know how you cut back in life. Like cutting back in life is very hard. That's why like a lot of thought needs to be like when NFL will never go back to 16 games. They will forever be 17 games because you will not lose
okay,
that money.
go,
That's
go.
already you know
Yeah,
what I mean. So to see them take out races, I think it's like it's tough. I think it almost should be done, but it's very hard. And I
yeah.
just
I mean, F1's obviously going to look more towards the money aspect of it, and they're going to make more money off of it. I I don't know at what point they start to care about the product because I think eventually you're going to keep on getting drivers and who are going to get short contracts because they don't want to stick to that type of commitment. They're gone out of you pretty much don't have a home. Like you're
yeah,
just going to be living on the road. Like 11 months this year we're getting races. That's crazy.
that is yep.
That's insane. And like these
Yeah,
guys
cuz
just pretty much fly. Even if you get like a 2-3 week break, like most of the time people are going to be using that for vacationing or training or like rehabbing or an injury or something, and like they're not going to get much time off, and that's just not a it's not an appealing life to constantly want to pursue. It'd be nice for a few years, I guess, but after a while, you kind of get exhausted of it.
yeah. And I think there's talks too about like how the budget cap man, if I read it right or understood it right, like it kind of puts a damper on like teams almost having like, all right, we're gonna bring this crew to the track this week while this crew stays home and then switch because they can't just pay everyone. We're like, you know, you keep bringing out more races. All right, I'm gonna bring. I have a team that'll come out 11 times and a team that'll come out 13 times, and then that way people people are getting a break if they want it. But I think the budget
But
cap
even then, like
because they can't spend money. everywhere.
The drivers are stuck doing it. The team principals got to come to every race.
That's true.
Like
I
a
mean,
lot
that's the life they
of
sign up for,
train.
bro.
No,
Yeah, it's tough. I don't.
it definitely is, but it's just like I said, 11 months is just ridiculous. And I love, and I'm glad, and I'm happy as a fan. Like I get to, like you said, we're losing football in a few weeks, and then we're gonna be without. My Sunday is gonna be pretty boring.
Yep.
Like I'm just gonna,
Yep.
but I know F1's coming back pretty soon, so
Mm-hmm.
that that's great. And that aspect of the fan viewing experience is awesome, but just like as a livelihood experience, it's exhausting, and it's like, these drivers are pretty spoiled for the most part. I'm gonna be 100% honest. Most of them come from money. Most of them come from like this silver spoon in their mouth kind of thing, and I just think that life is just it's treacherous. It's extremely exhausting, and you don't get a break. And I think Max brought it up again. Like Max has been teasing the idea of him retiring
Mm-hmm.
for a minute now. I can see Max finishing his contract out and then maybe signing another contract for like 1 to 2 years, and then he's done because
Yeah.
like he doesn't want to do this. He doesn't
Yeah.
want to. He doesn't want to do all the commercial stuff for F1. He just wants to race and live his life the way he wants to live it. And I can honestly, I'm not a big Max fan, but I can respect that.
Yeah. And until those drivers leave, though, and they start putting pressure on, F1, it'll never change.
Yeah,
If they lost a whole bunch of big names, then
that's
something might
that's
happen.
that's where I'm curious. I wonder at what point would they draw that threshold? What threshold will they have to push for that to be a thing? Like Alonso, obviously. Lewis was going to be gone in a few years. Alonso's going to be gone in a few years. Max probably has like 5-6 years left because I know he just doesn't want to do it for a long time.
Mm.
Checo's going to be gone, but he's not drawing crazy names anyways. But Lando Norris, I could see him retiring after if he gets his World Driver Championship. And like, at what point, what drivers have to leave the grid for them to say, hey, like we need to like make cutbacks?
Yeah.
Because I think
Well,
if
those.
half the drivers leave the grid, it'd be like Leclerc, Norris, Alonso, Max, Lewis, George, Piat, Danny Rick, but Danny Rick it's tough. I wonder at what point the FI would decide, hey, like we need to stop just trying to money grab everything and start to make things the quality better.
Yeah, and you would see right away if you had subpar drivers in that the product would go down
Like imagine
quickly.
20 Logan Sargents. Imagine
Okay.
10 Nikita Mazepins. Listen, Logan Sargent placed 21st last year. Was it 21st or 22nd?
Let me hold on.
I think it was 21st. I think
It was 21st. Liam Lawson was 20th.
Liam lost.
Yeah.
So imagine that.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I'm gonna catch the second half of the Steelers game. Go hang out with Carter. Yeah. Good luck. I didn't need all of it. I see your stream's going well over there.
Yeah, I just froze.
Ryan, thanks for watching. Dad, thanks for watching. Mr. LDR. I'm not really sure I know who that is, but thanks for commenting. That means
I saw that too.
means a lot. Yeah. But
Maybe it's
Alex,
the NFL coming to take it down right now.
as they say in the McAfee show, you're getting throttled. All right, brother. We back next Monday or what?
Yes, sir.
All right, next Monday it is. We will see you guys. Thank you for joining. Off